I've set up my life to do less. And as I've cut more and more stuff out of my life, I have to make less decisions, and that frees up my life for the important things, like caring way too much about my pour over coffee. Actually, I haven't taken it this far, but having less stuff has completely changed my life, and here's how. Less stress. One of the first and most significant benefits I have felt throughout my entire past couple of years, decluttering, owning less stuff, and embracing minimalism has been that there is less stress. Having a bunch of things around for some reason stresses me out, and as I continue to let go of more and more stuff and have less things cluttering up my home, I've felt that I'm less stressed on a day-to-day basis. You spend less money. As you buy less stuff, you spend less money. As a extremely frugal person, this is one of the big perks for me. It's pretty obvious, the less consumeristic you are, the less you go out shopping, the less money you're going to spend, and the more money you can have to buy back some freedom in your life and spend on the things that are really important to you. You don't waste time looking for stuff. My entire life until the past couple years, I have been an avid loser of many wallets. My phone and my keys I would lose on an almost weekly basis. Just random cords or my camera or my laptop or pretty much everything I would lose pretty much constantly. But since I've found a home for everything and I don't have a bunch of cluttering up, my house, I don't lose stuff as much, and it's a pretty big time saver. By the way, if you guys are new to my channel, I talk about stuff like this all the time, and I'm currently trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of 2021. So if you want to help me out with that, feel free to subscribe. It is free. It doesn't clutter up your house, and I'll try not to clutter up your inbox. Cleaning is much easier. And honestly, who likes cleaning? I know I don't. I used to be a professional cleaner. Now I absolutely deplore it, and I do anything I can to spend as little time cleaning as I possibly can. So that means the less things I have on my shelves, the easier it is to dust them. I make sure that I don't leave things on my floor so I can have my automatic vacuum clean for me so I don't have to vacuum or mop. And just generally, the less junk you have floating around your house, the faster cleaning is. And I've gotten it down to like a couple minutes a week, which is so much better than the hours I used to take every Saturday. You actually enjoy what you have a lot more. I don't know about you guys, but I used to have like my favorite t-shirt, my favorite pair of jeans that I would wear 24/7, 365. The only time I wouldn't wear them is when they'd be in the wash and I'd have to wear something else, and I would hate that. But now I've just actually spent a little more money, gotten a couple pairs of my favorite things, and got rid of everything else. So every day I get to wear my favorite stuff. I get to use my favorite mug, drink my favorite coffee, eat my favorite foods, wear my favorite clothes. And it's just because I've got rid of anything that I won't say is in my top 10% of favorite thing ever. More space. Especially in our first apartment, it felt crowded because we continued to fill it with stuff. Furniture we didn't use, extra things on the wall that had no purpose, clothes, dishes, and Tupperware, and anything you can think of, we had a little bit too much for what we had. But since I've decluttered and downsized and own less stuff, it makes my house feel bigger, more open, more bright when I'm very intentional about everything that's inside of it. You can be lazy. I'm an extremely lazy person, and that's one of the reasons I'm so frugal and I like minimalism, is I don't want to work a ton, so therefore I don't want to buy a ton or spend a lot of money on anything that I can. So less housing, less car, less food, less clutter, which in turn saves me money, and therefore I don't have to have a real job. More peaceful. Honestly, used to be stressful when there's usually always dishes sitting around, there was always stuff on the counters, on the table, clothes on the floor, things just strewn about the living room, which still happens obviously from time to time. But for the most part, I have created habits and systems that have fixed a lot of these problems for me. So now when I walk in the door, it's calm, it's peaceful. I don't have to worry about all the junk sitting around. Every morning when I wake up, I can make my coffee and know that everything is in its place, and I don't have to spend half an hour just getting my house looking presentable so it doesn't stress me out. It actually helps other areas of your life. For me, the minimalist process started with owning less stuff, decluttering, stopping my buying habits. But after I started having less stuff in my house, I started to look at other areas of my life. How can I apply these principles to my work and stop doing things that I don't like doing? How can I be more efficient? How can I do this with my health? and cut through all the noise and be really intentional and just focus on what is really important for me in all areas of my life, not just the possessions that I own. You actually have a little more freedom to help people. As you save money and then in turn time by owning less crap, you can donate that stuff and actually help people with it. You can donate your time and help people that way, or you can donate your money and actually make a difference in the world without being weighed down by a bunch of crap and responsibilities. Stop worrying about what other people think of you. This was a huge problem throughout most of my life, and I still struggle with it occasionally. But I've kind of gotten to the point where I have a good relationship with my stuff, and if people think I'm weird or cheap or whatever they think that I am, I don't really care, because I've actually spent a lot of time thinking about and curating the right things for me, and I know that what I'm doing is right for me. It doesn't have to be right for everybody, so I don't care if you think I'm a little crazy. This is what I know is right, and it's going to be the best for me and my family. You don't compare yourself to others. As I've spent time really looking at my possessions and what is right for me, I stopped caring about what other people think. Do they think I'm cheap? Do they think I'm weird because I don't have a bunch of stuff? You know what? That's totally fine. I know that I'm doing the right thing for me, and I would rather spend less money and therefore have to earn less money and therefore not have to work as much because I'm lazy like that, and not have to worry about trying to show off a big house or a big car or new flashy clothes. Just doing what is right for me. More time. Shopping used to be a recreation for me. I would spend time walking through the mall or through stores a couple times a week, shopping online, thinking about random stuff. And now I don't shop, and it's just a part of my life that I don't really have to think about anymore. If I absolutely need something, I'll just go out and get it and not have to worry about it too much. But I never impulse buy or recreational shop or anything like that anymore. Good for the environment. The average American throws away 81 pounds of clothing per year. Honestly, that's kind of shocking and hard to believe. Plus, it's bad for the environment. It just ends up in a landfill. It takes a lot of resources to produce all this junk that we're just throwing away. So you can actually feel better about yourself and be more green just by thrifting or getting only the few things that are really important to you, and not being extremely consumeristic and just cycling through a bunch of clothes or a bunch of stuff. You're ready for visitors. It used to be when visitors would come by, I'd spend a couple hours cleaning the house, putting things back together, shoving things in closets. But as you just have less stuff around generally, you don't have to clean as much. Everything just has a home, so it doesn't get as dirty. And people can just randomly stop by, and you honestly don't have to stress about it. And this has been a really big change for me, and it's a huge benefit when you can be more hospitable because your house is in a wreck. You don't need a storage unit. The average storage unit costs between $90 and $300 a month. That's just to hang on to stuff that we can't even shove inside of our houses anymore. And for the most part, after you store stuff for a couple months, you'd be better off getting rid of it and then buying brand new stuff than you would be to pay to store it. As consumerism has taken over our lives, it's filled up our homes, and now it's become a financial burden to us. It boosts productivity. Having a clean and organized space can free up your mind to be way more productive. Plus, having systems to keep your paperwork and your computer spaces in order can save you a ton of time when you lose files or you don't know how to get to things. Plus, getting rid of all the extra junk and actually designing your workspace for productivity so everything is in a well thought out place can save you a lot of time in your day-to-day work. It increases mental clarity. Everything that you own has a space in your mind. And I noticed that as I got rid of more and more stuff, it actually freed up space in my mind, and I was able to have a little bit more mental clarity, think a little bit clearer as I have less stuff weighing me down. And you don't really think of everything that you own as weighing you down mentally, but it really does. And as you get rid of more stuff, you'll feel a little bit lighter. You can focus on other people. Once you stop constantly trying to keep up with everybody else and thinking about buying new stuff for yourself constantly, you can think more about having a bigger impact on people. And really just think about more important things in life than buying stuff, which is really all we're conditioned to do. We see ads everywhere we go. We constantly think about ourselves, and that's how people make their money. But as you stop being so obsessed with getting more stuff, you start to care more about your relationships and helping other people and even helping yourself. You could be a good example for your kids. Now, I don't have kids yet, But this is something that I've seen a ton, where people who are hoarders or are very obsessed with stuff and their appearance and just honestly having a bunch of stuff and that's all they care about, that can be really crippling to your kids. And then it can also affect them down the line, where they'll go one of two ways. They'll either become a little bit of a hoarder themselves, or they'll go the exact opposite way and maybe become an extreme minimalist because they had so much junk that they had growing up that it affected them in a negative way, and they don't want to have that stuff anymore, and they just want to be content with living life and having a few things and really enjoying people and experiences more than stuff. So that's pretty much all I got. If you enjoyed this video, you got some value, it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe and hit the little bell thing, and I'll see you guys next week.